Farcaster. It is Friday, January 5th, and we are here for 21 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day with Adrian and a special guest today, Rish from Neynar, and we're going to be chatting about what exactly that is just a little bit. I need a tutorial, so this is why we brought Rish here. So for a Neynar tutorial for us, not really, but just we can chat.
Happy to
How
talk
are
about
you
it.
doing this morning? We got you up early.
Doing well. I mean, I like getting up early. It's just recently my time zones have been a little weird. But yeah, it's a nice morning. It's sunny. I'm excited to go out. And it's a good excuse to get my sleep cycle back on normal people's schedule.
So that's what we're here for, to help you get your sleep cycles back to normal. Adrian, GM, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday. Good point. Happy Friday.
Always a good day when we have guests.
Always. I'm excited. I'm really excited. So this is the first time that we are doing with our guests for Fridays with Friends. So we're going to have Fridays with Friends happening moving forward for the month of January, and then into February. We already have a couple that are getting scheduled. So excited to tell you all about that. So we've got Rish this week. We've got Grace from Unlonely next week. Then Jack from Icebreakers. And then Nonlinear from Fabric, who's going to help us evaluate our subscriptions. So we're going to think that through and see if we want to use Hypersub. So this month we're trying out a little something with some NFTs from Zora. And we have a few sponsors we just need to quickly shout out today. This is the first time. So Monkey D Links, we love you. You're always in our chat. Thank you so much. And Wake is also our new conversation liquidity provider sponsor. So we're really excited to announce that, and then to have Johnny on at the end of this month to talk to us about other ways to approach this. So really excited. But today we have Rish here, and I'm really happy to have you here. Let's dive into some of our Farcaster news. Big one earlier this week was 2 days ago, new on Warpcast, add a short note when gifting warps. And we have a few suggested notes for this. So I immediately tried this out. I also immediately pinged Dan and thanked him for the Nounish proliferation. But I also asked if, he still hasn't answered me, if he actually sent the warps to Noun 40 or not. But I don't know. If Noun 40 could confirm, that'd be great. The people want to know. People want to know if the warps were actually given or if it was just staged. And then we have this excitement. If you have a friend who is looking to check out Farcaster, we're running a campaign with Coinbase Wallet to offer a free sign up to get started. Open Coinbase Wallet and head to the Explore tab. So definitely share that with your friends who've been thinking about jumping on Farcaster. And then one more from Dan. Welcome to Gary Tan, CEO of Y Combinator. This was the AMA yesterday. And Adrian, you had pulled one, I believe. One of the questions was, what advice do you give founders on content creation, whether it be building in public on Twitter, Farcaster, creating videos on YouTube, or maintaining a blog? And Gary Tan's answer was, do a shitty version of it every day or week and expect it to suck, but try to get feedback and iterate over the course of years. You will go from bad to good to amazing. Compounding works. I can guess why you pulled that one, Adrian. What's that? Were you trying to tell us something?
That's right. That is right. All right, who can go back memory lane? It was just a few short months ago when we started doing this as a live stream, and we had technical difficulties every single episode for like a month. But we kept doing
it. Glasio will remember that well. She was our first guest, and that is the lost episode.
We had some pretty shitty episodes. I think we're still bad. I mean, I think we're still in the.
We're moving towards good, but we're about 0 to 1 at this point. We're still.
There is something so freeing, though. I only learned the term SFD a year ago. Do you guys know SFD?
Say what that is.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I heard it. I was like, everybody knows I'm the last one. It's shitty first draft. It's just when you're writing, it's just write your SFD.
Yeah.
And just setting that expectation that the first thing you do is going to be shitty, but it's just a matter of doing is the most freeing thing. So it's, having no expectations and no audience and just kind of feeling free to make, and understanding it's about compounding is wonderful.
Totally. Were there anything, I don't know if there was anything that from the Gary Tan AMA or any of the AMAs in general that Rish or Adrian that you wanted to talk about, or just like the fact that we're doing them on Farcaster with these really amazing high profile folks? Like, what do you think about that approach?
I'm a big fan. I think it's access to information that's otherwise, you can Google and find their blogs and whatnot, but speaking with people who are experienced, have been working in their own fields of expertise for a while, and being able to just answer questions. I think that's great. I loved that when we did it with Brian and Vitalik and Gary and Balaji and Fred Wilson. For Gary, the one we shared internally on our Slack, I'm not sure if it was actually from the AMA or he casted about that separately, but there's just I think it was from the AMA. There's a list of like trite YC advice for founders. It's like a list of like 10 or 20 bullet points. And somebody asked like, hey, has anything changed? And Gary was like, no. This is like, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, what vertical you're in. This is just like make something people want. And there's like a bunch of other advice like that. And it's consistent. And I love that. And that's what we shared internally. It's something we try to follow.
That's amazing. And I'll have to find that list. We'll have to find that list. And
I can try to find it.
Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, I love that we're doing these. I think that this to me is a great way to get to QDAO, right? Because that's going to attract folks who are, interested in those sort of bigger thought leader, entrepreneurial, all that kind of stuff. And that to me is what's special about Farcaster, is that entrepreneurial drive that's kind of bubbling all around underneath it. And it's really fun. So I love these, and I was excited to see it. I'm not sure who's up next. I don't think it's been announced yet, but we'll be looking for that and chatting about that.
Who do you want to see? Make your bets. Who's the next AMA?
That's a good question. Who would you like to see? Who haven't we seen yet? You know who I'd love? I would love to see Hester Pierce, or Peirce. I think she pronounces it Peirce, who is the SEC commissioner who actually we like, the only one who, there's one more. She grabbed one more, pulled him to her side. But she writes amazing dissents, and I think, has a very logical perspective on crypto. And I would love to see her in an AMA. I think that would be really, I think this crowd would like that. It would be very enjoyable. Who else for you all? Do you have anyone in mind that you'd like to see that we haven't seen yet? There's so many.
Catherine Boyle for May.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
She's the A16Z partner doing American Dynamism.
Yeah, that would be great. Chris Dixon would be awesome, especially once his new book is out. I'd love to see that. That would be fun. So there's so many. I mean, there's so many. So, Dan, we're loving it. Keep it up. Keep going. Okay, a few more things before we chat with Rish about Neynar. Congrats to the winners of Purple's channel-focused retro funding round. We had Bidler, Outcasters and Linkcaster, and Abura all were winners in this. And I saw some other great nominees, so congratulations to everybody there. Phil is introducing On-Chain, a Farcaster experiment in long-form content. Next week, Original Thinkers will publish essays on governance, economics, and culture. Subscribe to follow along or cast your own contribution directly to the channel. So my question for you, Adrian, is, are you going to write something? No, nothing like putting you right on the spot. Did not tell her I was going to ask her this.
Is there any time? I'm not writing something next week.
Okay.
I got to protect my time.
Maybe soon, maybe sometime soon.
But I really like this initiative, and you've heard me talk. You know how I talk all the time about the similarities between Farcaster and Genius and this DevOps community I've been a part of, and so the DevOps community does a lot of long form writing as well, and through the Genius, and it's just so valuable to it's to kind of have the written record of thoughts and pieces, and it's one of those things where it's like, over time it compounds. I just got an email list of like in this other community of like top articles that were written, and half of them are like 5 years old, or the top articles of the last year. The ones that were most visited, most talked about, were all like 5 years old. So I really like any initiative to kind of create longer form content. Excited to see what people are writing.
And I need to get back. I keep saying this every single time. I'm like, I really need to get back to writing more. I really need to get back to writing more. And I keep it's time. Yeah, I'm time poor. I'm time poor. Rish, do you do any long form writing? Is this something that would interest you, or something you would be interested in seeing from others?
Would definitely be interested in seeing from others. I used to do some of that in the past, but same story as most people, haven't made the time. I think I should be doing more of that, specifically as we are working on Neynar. Yeah, it's just something I don't usually get around to too often.
Yeah, it's always time. Time is our most valuable commodity by far. That is for sure. One more quick thing before we shift over and chat about Neynar. Dan has made it very easy for your quote casting needs. If you do need to dunk on Dan, he has now made it easy for you. Put them all in one place. C. Corella took advantage of this with an "Are you coming to East Denver Farcaster meetup?" And Dan has said yes, according to his quote casts. Our Farcaster DAUs going to 1 million this year. Yes, also yes. And Adrian, do you regret releasing casts yet? Cast QASTS. And also, yes. So, just a little fun as we wrap up here. So we're going to switch over to chatting with Rish about Neynar, and I'm going to turn this over to Adrian, who is our interviewer. So what do you want to know, Adrian? What are we asking Rish today?
Well, can we also start, Rish, with just a little, for people who don't know, what's the kind of Neynar elevator pitch?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are today a developer platform for Farcaster. We started with providing hubs as a service. Where running hubs back in the day used to take a bunch of time and effort. It's slowly gotten easier over time. From there, we now provide hubs, index databases, APIs. Most of our customers are now API customers, because building your own application level APIs on top of the hub data is a fair amount of work. And over time, we'll continue to add more to this dev stack. We are currently building a bunch of stuff for webhooks, and there's more things we have planned for the rest of this quarter. So yeah, excited to do stuff there. I think our sign-in product is something that, for example, makes connecting Farcaster apps super easy. You don't have to pay warps or gas. I'm going to do more stuff on the authorization side. Yeah, excited.
I have a follow-up question on that. What drove you to want to do this? Like, how did this even come about that you were like, you know what I want to do? Build a whole bunch of stuff so people can build stuff on Farcaster. Like, where did that inspiration come from?
Yeah, it really was an experiment. Like the wallpaper all of us have today is our experimental NFT from back in the day. We were building a consumer app that connected Farcaster, and we had built a lot of this infrastructure in-house. Like a long time ago now, comparatively, like this was like, we started building January 2023. So it's come a full year. And back then, like pretty much nobody was running hubs. We were among the few. Nobody was connecting apps to Farcaster, and we had built that infrastructure, and we were running our databases and applications. And one evening we were just like, hey, what if we offered this to other people? So we stood up like a very crappy landing page and put a Stripe checkout button on it and said, hey, if you pay us, we'll give you access to this infrastructure. We hadn't even figured out how to give access. We just stood up that web page. And within a few hours, multiple people paid us. And we were like, oh, shoot, we actually should figure out how to give them access. They paid us already. So we stayed up that night and we figured out how to like give them access to our infrastructure. And then demand was more than we expected, at least back in the day. And so we decided to do more work there. And since then, we are now serving like 115, 120 developers, companies. A lot of people use our infrastructure to connect to Farcaster. And yeah, it just became bigger than the consumer app we were originally working on.
Thanks for that, 'cause that clarification, because I was wondering how this all like sort of came about, and I didn't realize it was that many.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have so many questions.
Like,
So many questions for you right now, Rish. Okay. Did you pivot fully? So you said you started building a consumer app. Are you pivoted fully now to infrastructure? Or
Yeah, that
tooling?
consumer app doesn't exist anymore. Anybody who still has the test flight, it probably doesn't open the test flight for them, just as expired. Will we do something in the consumer space in the future? Maybe, but we are not actively working on something at the moment.
Do you think you have product market fit?
No, I mean, Farcaster has yet to find true product market fit, so we are still a little bit away from that.
Right. Can anyone building on Farcaster have product market fit before Farcaster does?
I mean, depends on how
Okay.
big a bet you take on Farcaster. Like there's most of our customers, for them, Farcaster is a connection. And they are using our infrastructure to connect Farcaster data in different ways. And their product market fit is independent of Farcaster finding product market fit. The way our companies leverage today, the way it stands, that's not true for us. Because we only support Farcaster today. So we are kind of like making a bet that Farcaster will find product market fit. That said, in 2024, we will find ways to like support more than just Farcaster, or like just directly building just on top of Farcaster, and that's something we're actively working on. So I think it'll be better for most developers in the community to like build products where you have some independent product market fit, and then there's some interconnections between the other products in the space.
Or you can be like us and just go all in. We're all in. Like,
I mean, content creation product market fit is a wholly different challenge, and like Neynar is nowhere close to that. Like we don't even make enough content to worry about it.
Well, as Link says in the chat, you always have product market fit. Your market just might be tiny.
Tiny market.
Like product person fit.
Yeah.
And that person is me.
That person is me. We do have one other question in the chat. How sustainable is your product? If you're full-time, are they funded? So I guess a better question would be, how much runway do you have?
We haven't announced our recent raise, but we raised some money earlier this year, which we did announce. That was a 1.3 million fundraise. And that gave us a fair amount of runway. We are a pretty lean team, 2 full-time people, 2 contracting people. We are actually hiring full-time right now. I put out a post earlier this week. We have since then raised more funds, and now our runway is more than 4+ years. So we are here to work for the long run, and I think we'll build some exciting things. So thankfully, runway is not an immediate concern, and we are all full-time, and we are funded.
Amazing. That was my question to Dan, by the way, at FarCon. Was like one of my first questions was, "How much runway you got?" Before I spend a lot of time doing the thing I'm thinking about doing. Are you going to be here next year? That's always good to know.
Now, come on. The value is the friends we make along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, it might be the most valuable thing I've made along the way, especially looking at my current wallet situation. So,
all right, I'm moving on.
My current list of meme coins is growing. Adrian, yeah, we have 2 minutes ish.
All right, oh boy,
it's Rish, so we can ish it a little bit, you know.
Rish, what's your favorite channel?
My favorite channel, probably. I mean, I spend a lot of time in memes, dev, Neynar. Those are probably my top 3 pinned.
That's probably the way to ask which ones are pinned. There we go. There's your channels.
Pinned channels. Okay, I just gifted you 2,500 warps. What channel are you creating today?
I have been contemplating creating a Rishini channel for me and Stephanie. I don't know what it'll do or what we'll post there, but I had this thought yesterday, just haven't acted on it yet.
I love that.
Rishini. Has that been coined?
I mean, yeah, we have had that tagline for like 10 years now. So that's how our
It might be the first power couple channel. You could be the first one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love the Farcaster couples.
First couple channel.
Okay, question is the same question I ask everyone who comes on. There's only been one other guest, so it's really the second time. When did you make your first internet friend? So what's your kind of early experience with social media?
Probably like middle school. Back when we had like Yahoo Messenger and MSN, and I became friends with friends of friends. So I had friends in school, and they would have friends, and I hadn't met these friends in real life before, but we met like online, and Facebook was just coming up in like 2007 or something, and then we became Facebook friends, and there were like all these games you could play. So yeah, it's been a while.
Prof, all these people had Facebook or had social media in middle school.
I know. I just try to ignore that part and keep going.
Concert or sporting event?
Depends on the sporting event. Cricket or football, I'll go to the sporting event. Maybe even NBA. Something
I've
else.
got a question. I've got a follow-up question.
Yeah, we know the follow-up question.
Soccer or football?
Oh, I just said football. I meant soccer in like Dan speak, but I meant football that you play with your feet.
Had to ask. Had to ask which side you are on the controversy.
All right, one thing, and one thing you're looking forward to, any time frame, any topic.
Like in life?
Yeah, it could be this week, next quarter, next year, next decade.
I mean, I think something I tend to think about a lot, simply because I think about this space, is I'm very much looking forward to the intersection of AI, crypto, and AR, VR. Where I think AI, crypto get talks about a lot, but AR, VR not so much. But I think there's going to be a significant hardware leap in consumer use cases, and similar to what smartphones did for the internet, I think AR, VR will do for AI and crypto. And I'm excited for that to take shape over the next 5 to 10 years.
I'm excited for the Apple Vision Pro. I want to see that all about, like, I'm excited to have multiple monitors that are just like here. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. Can't even imagine what this world looks like in a decade.
I can't either. I can't imagine what it looks like in a year.
In a year.
Yeah, I mean, really, like really. We are at the end of our time. Anything else that you want to share about Neynar, or something that you have coming up that you want to announce or share with us before we wrap?
No, I think the most useful thing. So nothing coming up. I think we'll save those forecasts. But like for the most useful thing, if you have feedback, if you have feature requests, or if you're a full-time engineer looking for a new role, find me on Farcaster. Send me a DM. I would love to hear from you.
Amazing. All right, you heard it there. And thank you so much for being our first Friday with Friends. We're so excited to start this series and chat with all the amazing builders in the ecosystem. And now apparently there's 115 more that we don't even know about. So I think we're set. We're pretty much going to be booked for the full year. This is going to be easy. And I love the way I've been listing everybody is the person building and what they're building. And I was able to do that with everybody we're talking with. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So next week we have Grace. But we'll be back on Monday with our usual 21 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. So have an amazing weekend, everybody. Adrian, one more thing.
End with another shout out to Lynx and Wake.
Absolutely. Lynx and Wake.
Took the plunge. And I got to say, being the first person to mint anything, the first person to do anything takes a little bravery and courage. And we love you. Thank you for your support.
Absolutely. Thank you. Lynx and Wake. And we did post in the GM Farcaster channel, and we'll have more information to come. By the way, in the works right now is a live broadcast from East Denver of GM Farcaster, along with a little meetup. So if you're holding one of those tokens, there's going to be something fun for you there, which we're not sure if Adrian's going to be there yet. We're working on that. But I will be. So with that, have a great day, everybody. And we will see you on Monday for more GM